Chelsea are back. The XABI Alonso era has truly begun. Are you ready? Blues fans, take a deep breath. The wait is finally over. On Thursday, July 9th, 2026, the Chelsea players walked back through the doors at Cobham Training Centre, and something felt different. New faces, new energy. And standing in the middle of it all, a new manager who is about to write the next chapter of our club's story. XABI Alonso is here, pre-season has begun. And honestly, this might be the most exciting summer Chelsea fans have had in years. Think about that for a second. A brand new manager, a squad packed with young talent, big money signings walking through the door, and a World Cup summer that has kept the football world buzzing right up until the moment our boys reported back for duty. If you are a true Chelsea fan, this is the moment you have been waiting for. So let's get into everything you need to know about our 2026 pre-season squad, the exciting new faces, and what lies ahead on the road to August. A new era starts at Cobham. Every football club goes through moments that feel like a turning point. For Chelsea, this is one of those moments. XABI Alonso, one of the most respected young coaches in world football, has taken charge, and on July 9th he welcomed his players for the very first time as Chelsea boss. Now here is something important to understand. Because the 2026 FIFA World Cup only just wrapped up, not every Chelsea player was able to report straight away. Some of our biggest stars were busy representing their countries on the biggest stage in football. So the group that walked into Cobham this week was made up mostly of players who were not called up to the World Cup, plus returning loan players, and a batch of exciting new signings who are joining the club for the very first time. In total, 28 players reported for that opening phase of training. 28. That is a huge squad, and it tells you just how serious Chelsea are about building strength and depth heading into next season. Doesn't that get you excited already? Let's talk goalkeepers. Every strong team needs a solid foundation between the posts, and Chelsea have plenty of options here. Robert Sanchez is back and ready to fight for his spot. Philip Jorgensen is there too, hungry to prove himself under a new manager. Gabriel Slonina and Teddy Sharman-Lowe add more competition to the group. But here is a name to watch closely. Mike Penders. The young goalkeeper is going to stay with the first team squad instead of being sent out on loan. That is a big statement from the club. It shows they see something special in him and they want him close to the first team environment as he continues to develop. Could Penders be a name we hear a lot more about this season? Only time will tell, but it is certainly worth keeping an eye on. The defence is stacked with options. Now let's move to the back line because this is where things get really interesting. Levi Colwill returns as one of the leaders of this defence. Axel Disasi and Tosin Adarabioyo bring experience and physical presence. Benoit Badiashile and Wesley Fofana add even more quality. When fit and firing, they are two of the best defenders on the books. Then you have the younger players pushing for their chance. Caleb Wiley, Josh Akiampong and Ishi Samuel Smith are all part of the group, hungry to show XABI Alonso what they can do. Samuel Smith is currently recovering from surgery, but he is doing that recovery right there at the club, staying close to the group and the medical staff as he works his way back. And then there is the name that has excited every single Chelsea fan this summer, Marco Palestra. The Italian international has signed for Chelsea from Atalanta after a brilliant season on loan at Cagliari, where he was named Serie A Defender of the Season. Reports put the transfer fee somewhere between £43 million and £47 million, which shows just how highly this 21-year-old is rated. Palestra can play right back or wing back, and many believe he is the perfect fit for the three at the back system that XABI Alonso wants to use at Chelsea. Fans, this is the kind of signing that gets you talking. Are you excited to see Palestra in a Chelsea shirt for the first time? Midfield is where the magic happens. Chelsea's midfield has always been a place full of talent and creativity, and this year is no different. Cole Palmer, our main man, returned to training early after taking a short break. That alone tells you everything about his mentality. He wants to be ready. He wants to hit the ground running. Palmer had a season to remember last year, and Chelsea fans everywhere will be hoping for even more magic from him this time around. Romeo Lavia also reported early to build up his fitness. Anyone who has watched Lavia knows how important it is for him to get as many minutes of training as possible, since fitness has been a challenge for him in the past. Seeing him show that dedication early in pre-season is a great sign for the year ahead. Dario Esugo, Aaron Anselmino and Tyreek George round out the midfield group at this early stage, all hungry to make their mark under the new manager. Now here comes a story that has dominated the headlines this week. Andre Santos has agreed to join Manchester United. Yes, you read that right. Santos, who has been on Chelsea's books since he was 18, has asked for more regular first-team opportunities, and it looks like he will now get that chance at Old Trafford. Reports suggest the deal is worth around £50 million, made up of a guaranteed fee close to £48 million, with a further £2 million in add-ons, and Chelsea are also believed to have secured a 10% sell-on clause. The move is close to being finalised, with Santos expected to complete his medical soon. It is always strange seeing a player you have watched grow up at the club move on, especially to a rival like Manchester United. But football is a business, and sometimes selling a talented player for a big fee while keeping a sell-on clause for the future is simply smart business. How do you feel about losing Santos to United? Is this a move that makes sense for Chelsea, or does it sting a little more because of where he is going? The attack is absolutely loaded. If you thought the midfield news was exciting, wait until you hear about the attacking options Chelsea now have. This front line might be one of the most talented in the entire Premier League. Estevão Willian is back at Cobham after recovering from a hamstring injury, and Chelsea fans everywhere will be thrilled to see him return to full training. João Pedro is also in the group, ready to build on his impressive form. Alejandro Garnacho, who joined Chelsea in a deal worth around £40 million, is part of the early squad too, even though there has been transfer talk surrounding his long-term future at the club. Jamie Gittens, Marc Guiu, Liam Delap, Emmanuel Emega and David Dartro Fofana complete a group bursting with pace, power and goals. And then there is the signing that has Chelsea fans buzzing with excitement, Giovanni Quenda. The Portuguese winger has completed his move from Sporting CP, and this transfer has actually been in the works since March 2025, when Sporting confirmed the deal would happen once the 2025-26 season finished. Quenda is just 19 years old, but he already has 86 appearances for Sporting, with 9 goals and 17 assists to his name. He became the youngest player ever to score for Sporting in his debut season, and he even holds the record as the youngest Portuguese player to score in the Champions League. Reports suggest the fee is close to €50 million, or somewhere in the £40 to £44 million range depending on the source, and Quenda has signed a contract that runs all the way to 2034. Some scouts in Portugal have compared him to Cristiano Ronaldo, and Chelsea insiders have said he plays a lot like Estevão. That is some serious praise for a teenager who has not even kicked a ball for Chelsea yet. Can Quenda live up to that hype? Only pre-season and the early weeks of the new campaign will tell us, but the potential is undeniable. One important note for fans keeping track of who is missing. Some of Chelsea's biggest stars who played deep into the World Cup this summer, players like Enzo Fernandez, Reece James and Nicholas Jackson, will not be part of this opening phase of pre-season. They will join the group later on the summer tour, once they have had proper time to rest after their international duties. That is completely normal after a major tournament summer, and Chelsea fans should not panic about their absence right now. They will be back before you know it. What does this squad depth tell us? Take a step back and look at what Chelsea have built here. A goalkeeper department full of competition. A defence mixing experience with hungry young talent, plus a brand new marquee signing in Palestra. A midfield anchored by a world-class talent in Cole Palmer, even with the departure of Santos on the horizon. And an attack so deep that fans are debating who should even start. This is not an accident. This is the result of a clear transfer strategy under the Blue Co ownership model. One that focuses on signing the best young talent in world football and building a squad for the long-term future. Quenda, Palestra, Asugo, all of these are players in their late teens or early 20s who Chelsea believe can grow into world-class players over the coming seasons. Does this approach frustrate some fans who want to see instant success? Maybe. But when you look at the talent coming through the door this summer, it is hard not to feel excited about where this club is heading under XABI Alonso. The road to August. Where will Chelsea play this summer? Now let's talk about the pre-season tour, because this is where the excitement really ramps up. Alonso and his squad are set to fly out later in July for a global tour that will take them across 2 continents. Here is the full list of confirmed friendly fixtures. July 28th. Chelsea take on Western Sydney Wanderers in Sydney, Australia. August 1st. Chelsea face Tottenham Hotspur in Sydney, Australia. Yes, a Premier League rivalry, but played on the other side of the world. That is going to be must-watch football for fans everywhere. August 5th, Chelsea and Tottenham meet again, this time in Hong Kong. 2 fixtures against Spurs on one tour tells you just how big this rivalry has become on a global stage. August 8th, Chelsea travel to Jakarta, Indonesia to play against Ohod. August 9th, the tour wraps up with a match against Johor Darul Ta'zim in Malaysia. Think about that schedule for a moment. Australia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Malaysia. Chelsea are truly a global club, and this tour is going to give millions of fans across Asia and Australia the chance to see their heroes in the flesh. If you happen to live anywhere near these locations, this is a chance of a lifetime to watch Chelsea live. Are you making plans to catch a game on this tour? Why this pre-season matters more than usual. Every pre-season is important, but this one carries extra weight. A new manager is trying to build his identity with this squad for the very first time. New signings like Palestra and Quenda need time to settle into the system and build relationships with their new teammates. Returning players like Cole Palmer and Estevao need to find their rhythm again after their break. And with big names like Enzo Fernandez, Reece James and Nicholas Jackson set to join a little later, XABI Alonso will need to manage a squad that is coming together in stages rather than all at once. This is exactly the kind of challenge that shows what a manager is really made of. Can Alonso build team chemistry quickly? Can he get the best out of this exciting mix of youth and experience? Can he find a system, likely built around that three at the back setup we have heard so much about, that gets the very best out of players like Palestra, Quenda and Palmer? These are the questions that will slowly get answered over the coming weeks. And as fans, that is exactly what makes pre-season so exciting. It is a period full of hope, full of new beginnings, and full of dreams about what the season ahead could bring. A word on the transfers, still to come. Chelsea's transfer business does not stop here. With names like Andre Santos heading toward Manchester United and rumours continuing to swirl around Garnacho's long-term future at the club, there could still be more incomings and outgoings before the transfer window shuts. That is simply the nature of modern football, especially at a club like Chelsea that has become known for its constant activity in the transfer market. Fans should stay alert over the coming weeks. More names could arrive, more players might leave. That is part of what makes following Chelsea so thrilling every single summer. Final thoughts. Are you ready for this season? So there you have it, Chelsea fans. A brand new era has officially begun under XABI Alonso, a squad packed with exciting young talent, headlined by the incredible signings of Marco Palestra and Giovanni Quenda. A world tour that will take our boys across Australia and Asia. And a summer of big transfer news, including the departure of Andre Santos to Manchester United. This is a Chelsea squad built for the future, but also one with real quality right now. Cole Palmer leading the way, Estevao Willian returning to fitness, Joao Pedro ready to build on his impressive form, and a manager in XABI Alonso who has the chance to shape this club for years to come. The question now is simple. How far can this Chelsea team go under their new manager this season? Will the new signings hit the ground running? Will the young talent step up when it matters most? And can XABI Alonso turn this exciting group of players into genuine title contenders? One thing is for sure, this is a summer that has given Chelsea fans plenty to be excited about. So get ready, Blues family. Pre-season is here, the World Cup stars are on their way back, and the road to a huge new season starts right now. Come on, Chelsea, let's make this season one to remember.